Jeremiah 49:7. Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Call halal Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The 144,000 would-be judges and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen nations that have the appearance of the heathen nations. This is not a black or color thing. All right, this is a bloodline thing. The Israelites are scattered among all people. And to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth and how there is no wisdom left in Teman. That Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is not fit to rule, and everything that he's done has failed and created more problems. And it's order out of chaos being done at its fullest. They create a system that they know will fail, and then they try to correct it later on. So they're exposing all the holes and the screw-ups of the system that they made. And now they're trying to correct it so that they can oppress everyone. And it's not that they're moving to correct it to save waste. They're doing this so that they can go digital, so that they can digitize everything and then digitize people. Because the truth of the matter is, had they kept things the way that they were and just used paperwork, well, you had to come in and sign a contract before witnesses, before bona fide selected individuals, elected, or should I say, elected individuals, and produce the documents to prove who you are. You wouldn't be able to do online fraud where you can use someone else's social security number or birth date, like all these women that have done with their children. And the children grow up and their social security numbers have already been used and their credit is messed up, and they're just a child. Esau created a system, all right? And if you think that he did this accidentally, he did this on purpose. So I'm going to play a short video. It's a couple minutes long, about three and a half minutes long, of Elon Musk and his team coming with those forced corrections, which ultimately will bring on the MOTB, because that is the end goal, all right? Because they're trying to hide. So the same way they set up a system that failed, all right, which all this waste, all this welfare. And remember, so-called white people are the biggest recipients of welfare on the planet. They'll constantly, try to make brown people the issue, that some heavyweight black woman with all her baby daddies, some heavyweight Hispanic woman with all her baby daddies, or even the case with now, show you how there's no more wisdom left in them, heavyweight white women with all their multiple baby daddies. See, Esau created all these issues and problems socially, and now these problems are affecting their own people as well. All right. And I've been saying it for years that, and the statistics actually show it, the biggest welfare recipients in America has always been white people, so-called white people. All right. When you add in the money, the aid that goes around the world, especially to Israelis, who are also white people. They're just white people who practice Judaism. All right. They're the same people. They're not different. Okay, they're the same. They're the very same people. They're all Esau, Edom, of the same bloodline. They're not Japhet, right? We've proven 1,000 times over that Japhet were the melanated people that lost their land in Asia, all right? And they took part of them. Then they took part of their land in Asia and called it, Europe. Now you got Eurasia. All those brown melanated Japhites were driven out when Alexander, the Agagite, the Edomite, the Amalekite, and his Edomite armies went into Asia and dominated and took down, and they came into power. And so now what I'm about to show you is Elon Musk and his constituents and their attempt, all right, to hide their counsel so that they can rule and control over everyone yet again. This is Isaiah 29:15, and it reads, "Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from Yahweh, and their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us?" All right? So without any further ado, let's pull it up. The water to my helpmate. And hold on.
Social Security. Elon Musk and President Trump have set their sights on cutting Social Security.
Their goal is clear: destroy Social Security from within.
How do you reassure people that what you all are doing is not going to affect their benefits?
No, in fact, what we're doing will help with their benefits. Legitimate people, as a result of the work of Doge, will receive more Social Security, not less. I want to emphasize that. As a result of the work of Doge, legitimate recipients of Social Security will receive more money, not less money.
All right.
I want to emphasize that point and let the record show that I said this.
Today, if you're an NIH researcher and you get a $100 grant at your university, today you get to spend 60 of that and your university spends 40 of that. The policy that we're proposing to make is that you get to spend 85 of that and your university spends 15. So that's more money going directly to the scientists who are discovering new cures.
News about rifts, about people getting fired. At this moment in time, less than 0.15, not 1.5, less than 0.15 of the federal workforce has actually been given a RIF notice. So they're selected if they're leaving. It is
basically almost no one's gotten fired. That's what we're saying. If a commercial company operated the way the federal government does, then it would be immediately go bankrupt. It would be delisted. The officers would be arrested. The changes we're putting in place will enable the federal government to pass an audit. It will enable taxpayers to know where the money is going and know that their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent well. But the ways that the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other. So if the computer systems don't talk to each other, then you can exploit that gap. Exploit that gap to take advantage. If, for example, there were over $300 million of small business administration loans that has been given out to people under the age of 11.
Well, actually, to add to it, it's $300 million under the age of 11 and over $300 million to over the age of 120.
Definitely
small business loans, correct?
Yes. The oldest American is 114. So it's safe to say if their age is 115 or above, they're fake. Or they should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. And we should not be giving out loans to babies. So the youngest recipient of a small business administration loan is a 9-month-old, which is a very, very precocious baby we're talking about here. So obviously it was just fraudulent. And they do terrible things. They actually will see that a kid's been born. They will steal that kid's social security number and then take out a loan and leave that kid with a bad credit rating.
Now let's stop right there. And they were able to exploit the system. But who set this system up to where it can be exploited in the first place? The so-called white man. There is no more wisdom left in teaming. They set up a system that allowed fraud, which was done purposely, not by accident. And now they want to come in and correct that system. All right? These people are liars. They are deceitful, bloody, murderous people. That's exactly what they are. And their goal is to change the system now where they are absolute 100% in control over everything that is done. All right? And then they want to use a social system to where if you fall out of graces with their social system, you can't even access your own bank account. They have control over all your money. So in reality, they're telling you that they're going to make it better for the American citizens. They're actually going to make it worse. All right? Where they can oppress you, the poor man, even more so than what they already are. This is Revelation 13 and 16. And it reads, and he calls up all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark or charagma, all right, in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he that have the MARK, the charagma, or the name of the BESAT, or the number of his name. So now all transactions will be monitored and controlled. But the truth of the matter is that this fraud could not have been done with proper paperwork the way that they used to be. And so they sold you convenience of computers and technology when all they did was open it up to where people could commit even more fraud. Because if someone had to come in and make a personal appearance, there's no way you would have been able to make loans for 120-year-old people, which means they're dead. It's false. There's no way you would have been able to get loans, business loans, for 9-month-old children. A 9-month-old baby is not coming in to sign a document, show all his credentials. All right. But you're sitting behind a keyboard. You see? So it's their system. And so they're still rape, robbing, and killing. They're just doing it in a different way now. Okay. And now the people that they raped, robbed, and killed, all right, and murdered and took their land are simply in the way. They're useless eaters now. They don't need them. They've already used their work and their ingenuity. All right. And remember, most of the inventions that are used today, they like to put up Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and all these people. But the truth of the matter is most of the computer technology, all your home appliance technology, from stoves, refrigerators, air conditioning, microwave, engines in cars, elevator doors, escalators, were created by mostly what you would call niggers. All right, most of the inventions that have benefited America, from simple things as the broom and the mop bucket, were created by the working class, which the servant class here in America, which everyone has benefited from. These are facts. The most used technology today, two of them are GPS and drone technology. Both of those technologies were influenced heavily, mainly by two different so-called black people. All right. So these people, now that you're useless, and look at what has happened now that they've gotten rid of the field hands, as far as in the, collecting up agriculture, the food. So now you have, problems there. You face starvation and food shortages. And these people still want more. What's his name? This unelected official, the head over the dog with all his little cronies. I always tell you, never trust bald-faced men, pale, bald-faced men with neckties, like those men that you saw talking with Elon Musk. And I saw the map that his grandfather created, and that map showed you America with Greenland, Mexico, and Panama a part of it. So this talk about annexing Canada and Greenland and taking Mexico and Panama, he's been set in place to fulfill his grandfather's desires to colonize even more. You got to remember, they came from South Africa. They had nothing but murderous colonizers down there. So, once again, we're looking at a people who tried to hide their counsel. And now shameful spewing is upon their glory. So we're going to let, I think this brother's name is Shaid. We're going to play about 4 minutes of this video and bring out some scriptures and wrap this thing up.
I was talking last time about how you need to understand that when the West, the sort of official voice of the West, the governments, the media, the elites, companies, corporations, and so on, when they use words like...
And what that means is so-called white men. All right? That's the voice of the West. Okay?
Morals or values, or when they use words like justice or human rights or peace or what have you, I was saying they mean something completely different than what
Totally.
most people mean when they use those words. But I got a lot of comments from people saying, "Oh yeah, that's doublespeak, or hypocrisy, or deception." But no, this is actually what I was trying to explain at that time. You know, I normally wouldn't do a follow-up if people misunderstood what I said, but I think this is extremely important to understand. It's not doublespeak, it's not hypocrisy, and it's not deception. No, they are being completely honest. This was my point. They're being completely honest, completely accurate when they depict, for example, the genocide in Gaza as being completely justified and defensive. They're being completely honest when they said that 1 million babies dying in Iraq from a decade of sanctions was worth it. They're not being hypocritical. They're not saying one thing and meaning another thing. These are their actual values. And you
Oh my goodness. This is Psalms 59 and 2. Deliver me from the workers of iniquity and save me from the bloody men. All right. Like he said, these are actually their values. This is the way they see things differently. When you speak looking through the eyes of a murderer and you're looking through the eyes of a normal person who does not want to shed blood, and you're looking through the eyes of a bloodshedder. Esau, Edom is the number one bloodshedder on the earth. Their blessing was to live by the sword. All right. And they have. What that means, you're going to go out and you're going to put people to the sword and take their shit.
You have to understand this. There is a fundamental and profound difference between their values and our values. They're not contradicting their values. You must understand, they're not betraying their values. They are acting on their values with consistency and continuity.
That's
Committing
right.
massacres against innocent civilians does not trouble their conscience.
No.
Any more than you stepping on a bug troubles your conscience.
Ooh, yep. It's so true. All right. This is Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. This is a profane, all right, a fornicator and a profane person. And the spilling of blood of innocent people, to him, if it's in the way of him having wealth, power, it's not something he needs. It's just something he wants. If you're in the way of that, your life is as insignificant as him stepping on a bug. Go back to that cartoon that, the beloved elder bro, Yashawamba, brought out. That one called Man. It should be White Man. It's not named correctly. All right. And it shows you from the time Esau stepped on the shores of any place. First thing he did was stepped on a bug, killed a snake, and made snake boots out of the snake. And then he just went on a path of destruction and turned paradise into a gigantic, garbage bin.
They don't see anything to feel guilty about. They feel that they've done something good. You have to understand this, because if you don't, you will severely and dangerously underestimate their danger.
That's right.
And you'll make the fatal mistake of believing that you can ever appeal to their sense of morality.
Because they have no morality. They have no humanity. Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed, self-professed white man. He named himself that. All right. He cares for no one else's humanity but his own. You are just that bug, that insignificant bug. You, your family, your wife, your children, your friends. You're just those bugs that they need to exterminate so that they can live in this big house without the hearing your cries and your worries. Okay? It makes me think of the story that the account that Bartholomew de las Casas wrote about some of the Edomite oppressors when they were killing Native Americans 13 at a time. All right, in the name of the Savior and his and the 12 disciples. Another one of the punishments that they would do is they would put people, the natives who disagree with them, they would put them on a spigot and roast them slowly over fire, and so that they would die slowly being roasted, screaming in agony. So instead of stopping, just killing the man and stopping his death, he went out and he stuffed his mouth so that he could not scream anymore, and then went back into his hut. And continued to rape this man's wife and daughter in peace without hearing the cries of this man burning to death. This is the truth. This is the way of the so-called white person. Always have been.
can ever appeal to their conscience.
As a matter of fact, this is Wisdom of Solomon 2:10-11. It says, let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Let our strength be the law of justice. For that which is feeble is found nothing worth. You're just a feeble, worthless bug that we need to exterminate so that we can have these millions of acres of land and all the oil, the gold, the silver, the cobalt, whatever it is that we need on this land. You're just the bugs that are in the way.
Conscience. And you make the catastrophic mistake of trusting them or trusting their intentions. And wallahi, there are tens of millions of their victims crying out from their graves, telling you not to trust them.
Yep.
Just like someone watching a horror movie and shouting at the screen, telling the main character, don't go down that dark alley. If you could hear the voices of their millions of victims, they would tell you exactly what's going to happen to you if you listen to them and if you trust them. If you're Muslim, or you're not white, or you're not rich, you need to recognize that they have zero moral hesitation about killing you. Yes, whether you live outside of America or whether you live inside of America, it's the same to them. The worst thing you can do is ever underestimate this reality. Listen.
Yep, because these people will smile in your face and they will sign a contract, will send a men in black that will kick in your door and kill you in the night. All right. Psalms 59:12. For the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their own pride, for the cursing of lying lips which they speak. And eventually the Lord, you see what the Lord is doing. He's bringing them to a head, that they will be destroyed by themselves. He created the waster. All right. And it's not ironic that the waster was created by an Amalekite. Okay. One of those converts claiming to be the people of the Lord became the destroyer of worlds.
Just like with an individual, you can learn what their values are by what their actions are. Much better than by what their words are. People can tell you all kinds of things about what their values are, what they believe, and so on, what their morals are. But their actions, their deeds will tell you the truth. You don't know anything about what they believe by their words alone. You have to see to what extent their actions align with their words, because people do things that they believe are morally acceptable. Now, sure, that doesn't mean that people always act in accordance with their conscience. People can slip up. There can be aberrations. We're human beings. But the actions that someone commits habitually, regularly, routinely, with consistency, this is what they believe in.
Yep.
Whatever they say to the contrary is just them lying either to you or to themselves or both. But you have to believe what they do, not what they say. And like I said, when they say that what they do is moral, then that tells you what they consider to be moral behavior. Because it's not like America ever apologized for their wrongs. Until now, they've got the Native Americans holed up in reservations, and they're poisoning them right now with uranium. And I'm telling you, they're doing that because they believe it is morally acceptable to do that. No, don't you ever think that they are like you and I. They're not like us. This is incredibly dangerous. They're bloodthirsty, and they see nothing wrong whatsoever in quenching that thirst. The same way that you see nothing wrong with drinking a glass of water, they can spill your blood with the same nonchalance.
Oh, wow. This is Psalms 139:19. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O God. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men. And so we're coming to so their trail of blood has led them. It's that their sins have gone up to the heavens now. And now their trail of blood are bringing them to the destroyer, who is not going to greet them as a man. All right. I believe that's Psalms 47. He's not going to greet them as a man. All right. Psalms 139:20. For they speak against thee wickedly, and thy enemies take thy name in vain. All right. They made sure that the true name of Yahweh Shai was removed out of the earth. They say Yeshua and Yahweh, Yehoshua. They come up with every name to try Jehovah. They add the earth pig. That's what Jesus means. All right. That's literally what it means. Look it up. It says, do not I hate them, O Yahweh, that hate thee? Am I not grieved with those that rise up against thee? Yeah, we are. But see, what's going to happen is that the Lord, let's go back to Psalms 59. And I'm not sure if I read this, but this is Psalms 59 and 12. And it reads, for the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride, and for the cursing and lying which they speak. And that's what's happening, because now they're being put on blast. The shameful spewing is upon their glory. This video that I'm doing, the video that this Ishmaelite man is doing, who I believe is Jake, and so many more. Daily, the world is speaking against them, including many of their women. That's why they want to take their own bloody history and if you speak about it, label it CRT. All right, when it's not theory. You can't take history and make it theory. When the hell did history become theory? They're so ashamed of, and it's funny because they used to be so proud of that bloody history. They bragged about conquering and taking down the natives, bragged about conquering and taking down the Negroes and enslaving them, bragged about taking down the Japhetic people of Australia, those melanated people over there, bragged about ruling over. Africa is the richest continent on the planet still, but yet they're among the poorest people. Because why? Because Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, for the most part, owns up most of the resources in Africa, where they're poor in their own damn land. All right, this is Psalms 59 and 8. But thou, O Yahweh, shall laugh at them. Thou shalt have all the heathen in derision. Because of his strength will I wait upon thee, for God is my defense. God, the God of mercy, shall prevent me. God shall let me see my desire upon the enemies. Isaiah 33:18 says, we shall meditate terror. All right. Slay them not, lest my people forget. Scatter them by the power and bring them down, O Lord, our shield. Our meaning the Israelites. So the world is in desperate need of new management. And Yahweh Shai is about to set it up. He's about to destroy the wicked, deceitful, bloody man. And those of him that remain are going to go into slavery for 1,000 years. Thus saith the Bible. Revelation 18 says, give unto them double. Revelation 18:6. And then after that 1,000-year period is up, well, go read Obadiah. All right, there's going to be a ginormous bonfire, and all the Edomites are going to be the fuel. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash, Kwam Yasharala, Abad Babal.